Hi guys, this week we're going to talk about, in part 2 of that how to go from good to great. But there's a few little bits of things first. Last episode I said that I was going to be giving you the links to help out an actor called Matt Lamb. Matt Lamb was part of The Hostage, which died during COVID, but Matt's done work for Nickelodeon and a lot of other stuff. So this is the link that you can go to help Matt. Matt's not feeling the best, as you can tell. He's been hit by a truck. He's going to have massive medical bills. He is recovering, so rather than do anything to help the channel, if you're thinking, oh, I could hit a super thanks and donate money, I could maybe do something to help the channel, help Matt. Okay, so there's the link. Throw a few shekels, $1, $2, whatever you've got towards Matt would really be appreciated by me and, of course, appreciated by Matt. If you give the show a thumbs up, it means that YouTube will show you more things about writing, creative art, and that sort of stuff. If you subscribe, it's a big help as well. All that sort of stuff is fantastic. But let's get started on today's topic, how to go from good to great. Last time we focused on secondary characters and how they can really add depth and flavour to your story. This week we're going to talk about the flow of information. So there's a few things about that, a couple of aspects. And I'm going to put some diagrams in because apparently everyone loves diagrams. But the first thing is to talk about is the point of view. Your point of view character. Traditionally, and 90% of the time, and most of the things that I write, actually I think all the things I write, the point of view character will be your protagonist. So you'll see the story through their point of view. You'll feel their emotions. You'll be upset for them. You'll be happy for them. You'll be going through the story with them. You will adopt their point of view as the audience. But you can have a point of view character is the non-protagonist. He's not the protagonist. The most famous one is sort of like Dr. Watson from Sherlock Holmes. You never really see inside Holmes. You never see what he's doing. You watch him from Watson's point of view, and Watson is the storyteller. In Sicario, Emily Blunt is our point of view character. Okay, in that Benicio is doing all the stuff. He's driving the story. He's pushing the story forward. He's going there, shooting the drug dealers, abducting others, taking money. He's doing all the things which is driving the action. She was there to get them into the country, but she's not really the person driving the story. She's reacting to the story. The story's happening around her. She's more or less a passive character, but she's our point of view. So she's not a bad passive character because we have an active protagonist. So think of it that way as well. How am I going to view what's happening in this world? Is it going to be from the protagonist, or am I going to watch the protagonist from a distance and have a semi-narrator character, even if they're not doing voiceover? I've written a Western called The Reckoning, where the protagonist, the story, is a retired sheriff and a new sheriff and a bounty hunter that comes into town. And this is like the story, but it's all being told through the view of a young deputy who idolizes the old sheriff. So we're feeling the emotions of the young deputy. We're seeing the world through the eyes of the young deputy. We're seeing the right and wrong, the justice, the injustice, all from the young deputy's POV. So that's how I'm doing it for that movie. So think of how you're going to use POV to tell your story. The next thing, and we've discussed this before, is where, and this is the first of the diagrams, we're going to have ahead, behind, in the middle, and character and audience in this. And we'll see the relationship between them. If we've got them centered up, the character is learning information at the same time as the audience is learning the information. This is the way most stories happen. The character does something happens, the audience sees that at the same time as them doing it. There's a gunfight, they're getting shot at, they see them get hit, whatever it happens to be. The audience is gaining information the same time as the character is, and the story is being built in front of them. A bit like those Asian restaurants where the guys prepare the food and serve it to you straight away. They're making decisions about the food, you're seeing them make the decisions, it's getting served to you straight away. That's your standard storytelling. Now, we can go to the extremes, where the character knows everything and the audience knows less. In this point of view, we're trying to keep up, we're watching what they're doing. They might already have a plan, and they're executing on the plan. Very much like a John Wicky type thing. He's going to go here and do this. Or we see some guys A-teaming it for people at my age, putting together all these things, making these creations, putting together a bomb, and you think, oh, okay, they're making a bomb, but how are they going to use that bomb? Well, they're making this weapon, or they're doing something, or you see them telling someone something, you think, that doesn't make sense. Why would they say that to that person? A setup and payoff. But this is an extended setup and payoff where the character is way ahead of the audience. The character's out here somewhere, and we're just always following, and we're getting surprised by their actions. The reverse of that is where we know something. This is a bit like in horror films. We see the monster in that castle over there, and then suddenly we see kids turning up to have a dance party at the castle, and we know there's a monster there. We've seen him kill heaps of people, and the character is completely unaware. But as the audience, we know exactly what's going to happen as they go. We have fear, we have dread for them. But you can now, that's the extremes, okay? We have the really talented character over here that knows everything and is doing everything, and we're just along for the ride. Or we have the audience that knows everything and knows what's going to happen, and the character's walking into it, and we're just hoping it doesn't happen. So you can move that closer and closer. You can play with that. The audience will know a bit, and then we see the character do something, and they begin to fill in the blanks. This control the flow of knowledge, not just information, the control of the flow of knowledge is a massive, massive difference between good writing and great writing. You'll see great writing where you just go, oh my God, that is so obvious. Again, like a Sherlock Holmes, or even in some of my favorites, like the Nolans. At the start of Dark Knight, when Bane takes Dr. Pavel or whatever his name is, why is he taking him? Okay, they're going to be using him, and you're not really sure, and then suddenly he turns up, and then you realise he's the only guy in the world that can dismantle a bomb. Bang, then they kill him. Now we're up to speed. But there was also some stuff planted along the way, that if he's the only guy that can disarm the bomb, we know they never plan to let Gotham go free. They're just going to wait for Gotham to die. We now know that. Bane knows that. The Ra's al Ghul League knows that. But the other characters don't. Even the people that are there that have now seized power and handing out, get away on the ice and die sort of proclamation, Cillian's character, they don't know they're all going to die. But we do, and we can begin to control that information. And as people begin to learn that information, they're catching up to us, and we see how they react to it. But the panic starts building and building, and they're on page with us. And that's the difference between good writing and great writing. The controlling of information and how it moves through the story and how you give it to your audience. Do you give it to them first to make them apprehensive? Do you give it to them after the character knows it, so we're following the character and maybe we're engaging? Do we learn at the same time to keep the pace of the story going? It controls how you pace the story, it controls how they engage with the story, and it controls their emotions, which is the most important thing. We are in the emotion controlling business. Do we make people panic? Do we make them laugh? Do we make them cry? How do we control these emotions? How do we get them to engage with the story? Is how we give them information. When we give them information, and compare that to the other characters in the story, when we give them the information, what will happen when they find out, or what will happen when the character finds out. Think of those impacts. Thank you for everyone who's been doing this. That's been great. Been having some good conversations. For 20% off for you guys, for Write a Duet, there's the code over there. I get nothing for that. And if that 20% saving that you're going to write a duet, go and donate it to Matt's medical fees. You can buy t-shirts, you can buy the book, you can do all those sorts of things. Give me a thumbs up. And until next time, guys, keep writing.